Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we're gonna talk about top 20 characters I want to see in the MCU. And just to make clear, this list is my personal. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. And also, this is in no particular order. I just picked 20 characters that I want to see in the MCU, and this list is subject to change later on. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Number 20 is a little bit cheating since Kang the Conqueror had technically appeared in the Loki series as the one who remained, but that isn't the evil version that we all know and love or hate. I really want to see a classic villainous Kang the Conqueror, and I think he's coming pretty soon. He's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I think he will be in a lot more projects, and just that Loki has kind of confirmed it. I'm really excited to see him entering the MCU, since Kang the Conqueror is one of my favorite Avenger villains. I can't wait to see what Marvel will do with his character. Coming up as number 19 is Magneto, the Master of Magnetism. Magneto is my second favorite X-Men villain, and for good reason. He's one of the most popular Marvel villains or comic book villains alike, and due to that content his origin story, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited to see him entering the MCU later down the road. I'm not sure when he will come, but when he comes, I really hope that Marvel gets him right. He's a character that deserves the best, and I hope Marvel finds one of the best actors for the job. Someone that really can play this sympathetic villain and maybe give it another redemption story in the MCU, even though I'm not quite sure about that. But either way, I can't wait to see Magneto entering the MCU. Coming up as number 18 is Cyclops. Some of you will disagree with me with what I'm going to say, but Cyclops is my the favorite X-Men character. I really like this fact that he is a born leader, he is a respectful leader, and even though he has been a Boy Scout before, he has also become the kind of leader that is willing to sacrifice his comrade to serve the greater good. Either I go back to be a bit more what's called Boy Scout later on. He is a good character, he is a good person, and I can't wait to see what Marvel will do with him. I want to see the respectful leader that Cyclops is in the MCU, and not the way he was portrayed in the Fox X-Men movies. This is one of the many reasons why Cyclops is on this list. Next up is the Inhuman Crystal. I'm gonna be honest, this is just a fanboy about me. I'm not that well familiar with the Inhumans, and that's one of the reasons why I want to see Crystal in the MCU. Since I'm not too familiar about it, I don't really sure what to expect, and that's something I really love about Marvel. When I'm not too familiar with their characters, I don't know what to expect from them, and that really helps me appreciate the MCU even more. It helped me also helped me like the character even more, and that's something I think the MCU does really great. Make me care about character that I don't know about yet. And that's the reason Crystal is on this list. Coming up at number 16 is Black Bolt. Black Bolt is one of my favorite Inhuman character. I really love that his power is his voice, and it's so deadly that he has to be quiet in order to not cause mass destruction. It really shows how powerful he is, and I really like the character that really has to control the power in case of not causing mass destruction. That is something I think Black Bolt will do really well in the MCU. A character that if he loses control and talk too much, he can cause mass destruction around the earth. And that is something I think will do really well for him. and I think it will help the MCU to have a real powerhouse amongst the heroes, like Black Bolt. I know we have the Hulk, but I think Black Bolt will be another level of power. Coming up as number 15 is Luke Cage. Here I have to be honest, I really hope that Marvel don't recast this character and using the Netflix character. Or maybe not the Netflix character, but the Netflix actor. Because I think he did a fantastic job with Luke Cage. I really love how he portrayed him. I hope they do it in a similar way next time in the MCU. I'm not gonna talk much more about him because I think Manuel agree with me on this part. Let's just hope the reboot he's going to get will be a hero for hire show, cause that is something I think will work really well for him. Next up is Captain Britain, and here I have to be honest, I hope Henry Cavill will play Captain Britain in the MCU. I really enjoy Captain Britain in the comics, even though I haven't read much about him. Those few times I have read about him, I really enjoy the character, and I hope that Henry Cavill will play him because I think that Henry Cavill will do a really great job with him. I heard that someone thinks he's gonna play Wolverine, and I'm not against that. But if I have to choose between Captain Britain and Wolverine, I will choose Captain Britain for Henry Cavill, because I think he will do really great well with him, and I think it will be a really big part of Captain Britain that Henry Cavill plays in, because I'm not sure how well known Captain Britain is, and if Henry Cavill can bring him to the life, I'm not gonna complain. Coming up at number 13 is Cable. This is one of the harder characters I think that to adapt to the MCU, since he's actually a pretty dark character. He's from an apocalyptic universe, and I think that is a bit too dark for the MCU. But I really hope if they do bring him, and I do hope that they bring his dark future too, because I think that will suit the MCU really well. I really want to see this cybernetic mutant fight against Apocalypse, have Scott Summers as a father, and in general, I really just want to see him in the MCU. I want to see him interact with the new Captain America. I want to see him interact with maybe Hawkeye, and I just want to see how well Marvel can do him, and that's the reason he's on this list. This one is pretty obvious that Doctor Doom will enter the MCU, but the thing is, how will he enter? Well, how will the MCU bring him in? Will he be a Fantastic Four villain in the first movie, or will they wait and use him to something else later? I really want to see what kind of character Doctor Doom will be in the MCU. I just hope that Marvel does him right instead of the Fox movies. I really can't wait to see the dictator of Latveria entering, and I'm actually sure that he will be a really great character in the MCU, because I think Marvel would do him right where Fox did him wrong, and that is one of the many reasons I'm having him on this list, and just because he is my second favorite Marvel villain. Coming up on number 11 is Ghost Rider. The reason I want to see Ghost Rider in the MCU is because I think he's a pretty great character. He may be a bit too dark for the MCU, but I actually think they can pull him off. And if Ghost Rider comes, so does Mephisto, so that's something else I want to see. But in general, I want to see Ghost Rider because I want to see which character they want to use. I like all of the characters, and I'm not picky about who they're gonna choose. I'm really gonna enjoy whichever one they choose, and because I enjoy Ghost Rider in general, and that's the reason he's on this list. Coming up as number 10 is Havoc. Now I'm going to admit I only have Havoc on this list because of Cyclops is on this list. I don't care much of Harry as a character. The only reason I want to see him in the MCU is because I want to see that brotherly relation he has with Cyclops. Cyclops is, after all, his older brother. I would like to see how MCU tackle that. And I also want to see him grow as a character. But besides all that, I don't really care much about him. I know some will say that is a poor excuse to have him on this list, but this is my list and I can control it however I like. Coming up as number 9 is Apocalypse. I know we had Apocalypse in the Fox X-Men movies, but that wasn't really a good version of him. I really didn't like that much how they did with him in the Fox universe. I do hope MCU can do him better. I like Apocalypse as a villain. He is actually my favorite X-Men villain. And I will love to see how they're gonna do with him. After all, he's a major threat to the X-Men and has been so for years. I like that they maybe can take the Krakoa era of Apocalypse and have him control a mutant army. Maybe? I'm not sure, but that would be really awesome. I really hope that they do Apocalypse justice. I can't wait to see what they will do with him if they bring him into the MCU. Coming up as number 8 is Kid Bombshell, Olama. I don't really know how to pronounce the last part of a name, so I'm not gonna try. And the only reason I want her is because I want to see her in a Young Avenger team. I don't know much about her, and again, that I feel like that is one of the reasons why I want her. I said this earlier, I like it when Marvel take characters I'm not too familiar with and bring them into the MCU. I haven't read much about her, and that's gonna help me appreciate the character even more if Marvel can do her justice. And that's the only reason she's on this list. Coming up as number 7 is Charles Xavier. Okay, I want a real comic book adaptation of Charles Xavier that's this true to his comic character. He's a bit of an asshole, and I want MCU to explore that. Explore this man that have made mistakes and is actually a little bit more questionable at times. He is a good person, but he can be an asshole and he can make mistakes. And that's literally what I want to see in Charles Xavier. I don't say they're gonna make him a complete villain, cause no one of us will like that, but I want to see a more questionable Xavier. And that's the reason he's on this list. And of course, he is a really good character. I had to include him on this list. Coming up at number 6 is Ava Ayula, aka the White Tiger. I really think that White Tiger is gonna enter the MCU sooner or later. I'm not sure when. But the thing is, I really want Ava Ayula to be the one they use. I'm not gonna complain if they use one of the others, but she's my favorite and that's why I want her. I like her character and I think she will do well in the MCU. Use it in maybe the way they used her in Ultimate Spider-Man, have her be a kid, join the Young Avenger or something, and that could be her start. But even if they don't do that, I think that they're gonna make her character justice, and I think she's gonna be a really important character in the MCU's future. After all, she has the spirit of the tiger, and I think that can play a little a bigger role in the MCU. I'm not sure if they're going to use it that much, but it could. And that's one of the reasons why I want her on this list. Coming up as number 5 is Dracula. Since Blade is entering the MCU, we know that Dracula is going to enter as well, and I can't wait to see him. I really want to see what the MCU would do with his character. I hope he be a pure evil character. That is the best introduction of Dracula, when he is pure evil. And if the MCU bring it in like that, I think it can work really well. Having be this irredeemable character who will be taken down in Blade movie, and maybe he can pop up somewhere else as well. I don't know. I just want to see Dracula in the MCU. Please, let Dracula be in the MCU. Coming up as number 4 is Storm. Storm is pretty obvious character to me, but I don't think she will be in the first X-Men movie or in the first Mutant movie. I think that they're gonna wait for a second movie or something. But I still think that Storm is gonna enter the MCU, and I really hope for it. Storm is one of my favorite X-Men characters, and I really think that she will do well in the MCU. Maybe be Queen of Wakanda? Maybe? Probably not. But I think she will have a really important role in the MCU. And I can't wait to see what that will be. And that's the reason she's on this list. And again, she is a really popular character, so it's a pretty obvious choice. Coming up as number 3 is Jean Grey. Okay, I really hope that Jean Grey entering the MCU. I love her character, I love her stories, I love almost everything about her. And I really hope that she gets in the MCU, because I would love to see the relationship with her and Cyclops. I would love to see how Marvel used her character in the MCU, and I hope they do her justice. I didn't like the Fox X-Men movie the way they did Jean Grey. Not that they were bad movies, but didn't like what they did with Jean Grey. I didn't think that was a great way they handled her, and I hope that Marvel can handle her better than they ever could. I would love to see how Jean Grey rise up as an X-Man, and maybe later on the road become second in command. I just want to see Jean Grey in the MCU. Please, Marvel, let Jean Grey be in the MCU. Coming up as number 2 is Mephisto. If you watch my WandaVision videos, you will know that I want Mephisto in the MCU. I want him in the MCU since the beginning. I like his character. I like that he's technically the devil, and I think he can do well in the MCU. I don't think he will come before a Ghost Rider movie, and that is something that really bummed me, but I don't care. So as long as he entering the MCU sooner or later, I will be satisfied. I just hope they can find the right actor for the role. I'm not sure who can play him yet, and I think that's the little bit of a problem. But beside of that, I'm just excited to see Mephisto entering the MCU sooner or later. And coming up as number 1 is my second favorite X-Men character, Wolverine. Here's the big problem with Wolverine, is that no one knows which actor should play him. Some people want that actor, other people want that actor. The problem is that Hugh Jackman did a so incredible role with this character that finding a new actor is going to be like hell. It will be extremely difficult to find someone playing Wolverine. I do believe Marvel will do that, but not without fans lashing out. I think that the next Wolverine is going to be a really great one. I really like to see what Marvel will do with him. I hope they let him star in his own movies and not just have him be Wolverine and the X-Men. Have him star in his own movie and later join the X-Men. I think that is the right way to introduce Wolverine in the MCU, or to use Wolverine in the MCU. I can't wait to see him in the MCU, and I hope we get some more classic stories in the MCU as well. And that's my list. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.